The tear that slid down Princess Catherine's cheek said more than any palace statement ever could. What headline could ever capture heartbreak behind gilded doors? Hours earlier, her phone had buzzed in the stillness of Adelaide Cottage with news that her sister, Pippa Middleton, had quietly unsealed the secrets of her marriage to financier James Matthews. One confidant describes Catherine reading the report once, twice, then staring into the garden as though the spring blooms might answer the questions racing through her mind. Would the revelations wound the monarchy's carefully restored calm? Catherine had only just tiptoed back into public duty after months of health tribulations, her schedule still trimmed to the gentlest pace. Now, fresh strain pressed on a recovery that doctors had hoped would remain undisturbed. According to palace insiders, senior aides debated whether she should pull back again, or face the cameras with redoubled grace. Could resilience carry her through another media maelstrom? Outside Windsor's walls, social platforms flared like bonfires at dusk. Comment threads filled with sympathy for two sisters raised in the same family yet living beneath radically different spotlights. Others reveled in gossip, parsing each line of Pippa's disclosure for hidden daggers. Was this the story that would redraw loyalties inside Britain's tight-knit royal circle? To understand the shockwave, one must trace the quiet evolution of Pippa and James's romance. Before James, Pippa's heart had belonged to former England cricketer Alex Loudon, a match built on shared jokes and weekends in the Shires. Yet destiny took an unexpected turn at Eden Rock, the Matthews family's sun-drenched retreat in St. Barths. There, a brief meeting with the older, self-possessed hedge fund heir set a different future in motion. Was the spark fate or merely holiday glamour? James never chased the tabloid's lens nor demanded Pippa's immediate devotion. Instead, he lingered on the margins with an unfailing courtesy that made loud romance seem gauche. Still, loyalty can tether a heart only so long. After Pippa's amicable goodbye with Alex and a whirlwind interlude with the sociable Deutsche Bank star Nico Jackson, the steady silence of James's attention began to feel like shelter. Could a courtship whispered in private survive thunderous public curiosity? Their reunion was deliberately slow. Friends recall long walks along the Thames, takeaway coffee in gloved hands, and evenings spent debating books rather than clubs. 12 months later, beneath the misty skies of the Lake District, James opened a small leather box. The diamond gleamed like a promise of refuge. Pippa, 33, nodded before the question was finished. Did the age gap, she still in her prime, he already 51, really matter when souls seemed synchronized? The May 2017 wedding at St. Mark's, Englefield, looked like a scene Spielberg might storyboard. Bespoke Giles Deacon lace, choir boars in crisp collars, Princes George and Charlotte scattering petals down the aisle. Even Princess Catherine, battling morning sickness, managed her legendary smile. Yet beneath the confetti, new fault lines formed. How does a woman famed for one bridesmaid's dress chase definition beyond its shadow? Chelsea soon became their urban sanctuary. The couple invested in an eye-watering £17 million townhouse with an underground cinema, mirrored gym, and staff quarters discreetly hidden behind wisteria. There, Pippa hosted charity brains trusts on pediatric heart surgery, while James slipped out a side gate at dawn for marathon training. Could luxury ever muffle the hum of contrasting ambitions? As months turned to years, observers noticed tiny shifts. Pippa's wardrobe moved from jewel-bright florals to understated creams. James's appearances beside her thinned. Photographers stationed outside the Royal Albert Hall for a children's gala found her stepping from the car solo. Was this independence, or the first public echo of a private divide? The silence grew louder in 2022 when Vogue Williams, wife to James's younger brother Spencer, quipped on a podcast about the headaches of marrying into a headline family. Those in the know swear no name was mentioned, yet Pippa's frost-kissed smile at the next family barbecue told its own story. Could a single offhand remark tip years of balance? Meanwhile, business troubles brewed far from cocktail chatter. Party pieces, the Middletons' mail-order empire that once bankrolled school fees, collapsed into administration, leaving debts surpassing £2.5 million. Suppliers grumbled to tabloids, creditors knocked, and the Middleton brand of middle-class aspiration began to fray. Would familial pride survive the spreadsheet carnage? James, too, faced unwelcome déjà vu. His link, long since severed, to the ill-fated Heather Capital hedge fund resurfaced in glossy spreads. Though regulators cleared him of wrongdoing, the whisper of fraud investigation clung like London fog to a morning coat. In a marriage already crouching beneath scrutiny, could even innocence feel like sin? Then came the Berkshire footpath saga. Local dog walkers had used the trail behind the couple's estate for decades, until fresh gates and stern signs blocked the way. Letters to the council multiplied, headlines framed the pair as aloof land barons rather than philanthropic neighbors. By the time the council tabled a final decision for 2025, the Matthews name meant controversy, not courtesy. Would public simmer turn to boil? Those tensions set the stage for Pippa's revelation, shared not in an explosive interview but through carefully chosen confidants who understood the stakes. According to sources close to the family, she admitted the marriage's quiet winter, a phrase that sent imagination spinning. Did it signal temporary frost or an irreversible freeze? Princess Catherine, bonded to her sister by childhood secrets and adult loyalties, absorbed the confession like a blow. Doctors had wrapped her in a schedule of controlled engagements to guard against relapse. Emotion was not on the prescription. Yet emotion arrived, unbidden, in the form of salt on cheeks. Could the nation's beloved future queen risk vulnerability under flashbulbs so soon? Within palace halls, advisors weighed strategy. One camp urged a short retreat to Anmer Hall, letting speculation burn itself out. Another argued that visible fortitude would reassure a public wary of royal absences. Catherine, ever the diplomat, reportedly chose a middle path. She would appear, but only for causes that mattered, and she would anchor her expressions in trademark composure. Would restraint satisfy a press hungry for tears? Pippa, meanwhile, retreated in a different direction. She buried herself in planning a fundraiser for neonatal cardiac units, refusing interview requests and posting nothing beyond a single black and white photo of autumn leaves. Friends whisper she has drafted personal essays raw, unsparing, but keeps them tucked in a locked mahogany desk. Might those pages one day rewrite her public story on her own terms? James continues to operate in near silence, commuting between London and Glen Affric Lodge in the Highlands. Some say he is repairing the marriage behind stone walls, others that he is merely escaping cameras. Without comment, interpretation reigns. Can a couple survive if only one half speaks? Behavioral psychologist Dr. Margaret Langley notes that couples with asymmetric appetites for privacy often drift. Shared love can't erase conflicting life scripts, she told The Times, casting a cool clinician's eye on the saga. Still, she added, where children and legacy intertwine, surprises happen. Is hope quietly plotting its own encore? On the digital battleground, lines are drawn. Supporters hail Pippa as a woman reclaiming agency after years as a decorative footnote. Critics brand her revelations a betrayal of Matthew's reserve. Yet even the harshest tweets concede intrigue. Why choose confession now, and how much remains unsaid? As spring edges toward summer, the sisters' bond may prove decisive. Catherine has weathered scandals from paparazzi chases in Provence to the Sussex exodus. Sympathy for her remains a potent national force. If she publicly embraces Pippa, critics may soften. But will royal duty permit such overt sister solidarity? Meanwhile, King Charles's calendar shows no sign of slackening, and the working royal bench grows thin. Every absence by Catherine ripples across planning rooms lined with gilt-framed schedules. Could personal anguish disrupt the monarchy's march toward modern relevance? Behind Kensington Palace's gates, Prince William is said to be providing unflinching support, reminding Catherine that families heal by facing storms together. Yet William, too, knows how quickly sympathy can sour into scrutiny. Might his protective instincts clash with institutional caution? And what of little Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis? Their mother shields them with almost translucent care, but playground whispers travel faster than royal Range Rovers. How will she preserve innocence when tabloids spin rifts into bedtime stories? Late one evening, a single lamp glowed in Catherine's window as she penned thank-you notes to children who had sent handmade recovery cards. An aide passing by noticed a fresh sheet, half-written, bearing only the words, "Family is first, always." Was it a reminder or a vow? As the capital wakes each dawn, Courtiers scour columns for the next installment of Middleton Matthews' drama, unsure whether reconciliation, separation, or something stranger lies ahead. Cameras wait, keyboards poised. Will the sisters turn private pain into public strength, or will cracks spread until even Kensington's brickwork cannot conceal them? The answer, whispered in corridors and scrawled in diary margins, promises to reshape the royal narrative, ready or not.